Well, it started kind of by accident, actually. I was in the process of retiring, and we decided that we kind of wanted to have a little storefront somewhere, a little tiny place.
We were kind of new Texans, and we were going to go see every city in Texas and take pictures of their main street. And as we started doing that, we saw all these little towns with a lot of tiny little buildings, and we thought, oh, that'd be fun to have an old building.
And one day, I was asleep in the car, and my wife Jeanette was driving, and we were in Sherman, and she says, "Looky, looky, there's something." And I opened my eyes, and I remember my first comment was, "You got to be kidding me." We were looking at this building, and we've got 38,000 feet in this old building, and I was thinking more like 2,500, not 38,000. So here we are. Now all of a sudden we have a very huge building of lots of space, and we're in a nice location downtown Sherman, and it just seemed like a natural fit. And we have always enjoyed old things, antiques, and I'm kind of a history nut, and so it just seemed to make a lot of sense. Sherman has tremendous history, and if you want to get just a glimpse of it, walk our courthouse and look at the monuments and read the fine print. So much stuff went on here. We had good stuff and some bad stuff went on here. But the fact remains, it's history, and this building was part of it.
It's prior to 1885, and there was a drugstore and a livery stable, a harness shop here. And so we have found artifacts from those things under the floor. And we have those in our museum. Oh, a touch of class. We were driving down through Beaumont, Texas, and we saw this little old secondhand auto shop, and they had a big car up on a pole, and it was kind of very unusual, but all these beat up cars were all around, but they called it a touch of class. The name is significant enough that other people all of our dealers that are in here, they want their booth to be classy too. They want their stuff to look good. And then when people come in, I think the name helps them think that, yeah, it's pretty classy.
This store in downtown Sherman, with the way the streets are one way, this is the premier location in downtown. This is it. That's why we have the visitor center for Sherman downstairs, and why we have their billboard on the side of our building. Because it's the first thing people see as they drive into town. I don't know that the visitor center necessarily helps our business, but we do get a lot of traffic. We are a help to the city, and if people come into town, if we're here and we can talk to them, we can show them places to go, where to eat, where to sleep, things to see and things to do, and maybe while they're here they'll buy something, and they do from time to time. Probably, if I had to isolate what is the single most important thing that drives our business, it would be billboards on Highway 75. We have 2 of them out there. And they're rather expensive, but we think they pay for themselves. And we know they're working because people tell us, "Oh, I saw your sign up on the highway." The store, I buy and sell things. I rent space to people who buy and sell things. Like this area we're sitting is paid for by someone else. I don't own any of these things. What we do, and then we also do consignments where people might stop in and have something that they want to sell, and we sell it on a percentage basis. So there's 3 ways that we sell. Merchandise comes from every way you can think of. A lot of it comes through the door. People just bring things in wanting to sell. Although we don't go out to garage sales or estate sales or auctions as much as we used to, those are very viable sources for merchandise. And all of our dealers do.
They all have their own personalities. They all go out and look for their own stuff. They bring a lot to the party. They bring their own personality of the things they like. Because it's always good to buy things you like, because it's kind of like, if you like it, then somebody else who comes in and likes your stuff, they'll keep looking around in your booth and they'll find more things. So.
We are a green store. Everything in here has been used more than once by somebody. And so just think, we're cutting down on pollution, the big factories are making this stuff. We're reusing it. So everything we have in here has been used, and some of it's several hundred years old, and some of it's been used many times. People buy a piece of furniture, and perhaps they get tired of it, or they sell it, or it came from a family and they inherited it, and it goes from one family to the next, until finally goes away. And to me, that's the most fun kind of things. Next to that is I like furniture. The furniture that is behind you is called Italian Renaissance, and that is probably about 200 plus years old. And the style is in, the figurines are supposed to be King Charles I, images of King Charles I, and that's all handmade, hand carved, beautiful work. And it's fun to have those kind of things, but not everybody needs a piece of furniture that's 10 feet high. You know, about houses you can't use that. But for the person that can, that's a great deal. Oh golly, there are so many things. I particularly enjoy things that pertain to history, that have some significance in history. And the room behind where I'm sitting is our little private museum, and everything in there came through the front door of this building in the last 18 years. Most everything. A lot of the camera equipment that we had before, because we have always collected them. But the other stuff is related to Grayson County, North Texas.
He takes care of the bookwork and heavy loading and stuff like that, and I do mostly working more with the customers and the dealers, and I do more of the changing out the displays and decorating that, you know, he doesn't like to decorate. So I have somebody else that helps me with that. You know, you always have difficult customers in businesses, and it takes a lot to deal with them. One of the problems is theft, and that is kind of something that is not a fun thing to deal with. Maintenance is a really big thing. Decorating is another thing. Keeping a place clean and having it look very inviting and everything. Our customers from all over the United States, and they come in and they just give us so many praises, and so many people say that, you know, they've never seen as nice an antique store as this is. And they've been into a lot of them. They say, we've been into a lot of stores, and, you know, this is the nicest. Men come down and, you know, they'll have been in our museum, and they especially like that. They can pick up our stuff. They can look at it. They can, you know, it's a hands-on museum. We wanted to have our mall that was inviting to the men, as opposed to just a mall with lots of glassware and fancy little things that men wouldn't care for. So now the men come in here and they get lost, and their wives are wondering, where are they at? You know, because they're enjoying themselves.
You know, I think some of the most fun things would be working with the customers, helping them, you know, I get involved with helping them put stuff in cars and move things around. Everything
we do here, we learn from the people, we learn about the people, we learn more about the objects. It's just an education. All the people are nice. That we have great dealers, we have great customers. If you get a grouchy one or something, if you get somebody who, you know, you just think, okay, maybe they're out of sorts today. So you just kind of deal with it.
What's it like working with her? Wonderful. She's a great person. We've been married, we'll be 56 years in December. But we kind of grew up together. I met her in a Baptist Sunday school class when we were probably 9, 10 years old, and I've known her ever since.